Well, hello, welcome again to our reading of selections from Iliad Book 2, and I got up to line 455. So, eutopur aidelon epiphlege aspeton hulein, kurios en koruphes. So, like to a fire which is aidelon. Now, aidelon means to make unseen. It's alpha privative plus this id root of seeing, and hence you make something unseen, you destroy it. So like a destructive fire, so as when a destructive fire, epiphlege, burns across the immense or boundless hule, it's probably a forest, on the peaks, this is the dative plural here from koruphe, on the peaks of the mountain. And the algae, the light, is seen. Hekathen is from hekas, distant, far, and the old then ending, which is an old ablative. So its light is seen from afar. Hose, thus, the gleam, the shining gleam, goes to heaven, di aetheros, through the air, from the divine bronze of them as they go. So slightly tricky word order here. It's two lines, you must take them as one. There's no gap, no comma or anything between, so you're going to take the two lines really as one here. So thus the gleam shining forth comes to heaven through the air from the divine bronze of them as they go, as they are going. Tone de. Now this, and in fact I think the next paragraph we get an article with de, and then we get a rather long and extended simile. And so you have to hold this for the minute. It'll be repeated, I think, on the next page. So we'll hold the tone de. It's like or as when the ethnia pola, the many, perhaps ethnia here, tribes might be good, the many tribes of winged birds, or of canine of geese, or of cranes, or of long-necked cook-known swans. This is from Doulikos, and Dera is a neck, so the long-necked swans. In the Asian meadow, around the Rhiethra, around the streams of Caustria, how they, so as when they, potontai, they fly, here and there. Agilomina, it's rejoicing in, delighting in, it takes a dative, their wings. Now this is a funny little bit here. It's a genitive plural here, so it's probably some kind of genitive absolute without our tone, and it may be agreeing back with this genitive, may be in apposition to the ornithone back up here. The verb means to sit in front, or to settle forward is often the translation of this. So it's settling forward with loud cries. This is one of those adverbs with adon on the end. So you get clange, this is clangadon, so with loud cries. The sense of this may be that one group of birds moves forward and takes its place, and then another comes. Hence the sitting in before. So it's something like settling forward with loud cries. And the lamern, the meadow, smaragay from smaragio, resounds. Now I mentioned that we had that hose, that hone men, or hone det, whatever it was, and now we get the tone repeated here, and this is what it's referring to. So thus the thus of them, the ones we were talking about before, that's the Argives, thus the many tribes of them. And we need a verb in the next line. Again, the two lines have there's no comma here. Prokionto, they flow forward into the plain. Notice the accent on apo, so it's from the ships, and understand from the tense. They flowed forth into the Scamandrian plain, the plain of Scamander. Altar, very strong, but now the hupo, I think, goes with the kuna bizde, which is another verb here. So the chthon, thus the earth, rattles below terribly. It's modalion, this is an adverb. It rattles terribly from their feet, both their feet and those of the horses. Estan den lemoni scamandrio and themoin timurioi, and countless numbers, literally 10,000, countless numbers stood in the flowery Scamandrian meadow. Hossa, as many as there are, neuter plural singular verb, as many as there are fula, leaves and flowers. Eute, we get another one of these comparisons. It is like, so as when the many tribes of, now the muiaon are the flies, and the hardinaon, adjective meaning swarming. So as when the many tribes of swarming flies, who, now the main verb is alaskusin. This is from alasko, to wander about or to roam. It's an epic form of a more common verb aleno. It's aleno, to wander about. Now flies don't generally wander, they sort of fly about, so I'm going to translate it as fly here, but it's actually wander about. So who fly about the Stathmon Poimneion. This is the sheepfold. It's the Stathmon, this is the station where the sheep live, so it's the sheepfold. This is an adjective. In the spring, hore is season. I'll do this up here. Oh, we've seen hore up here. Here it was as many as there are leaves and flowers. Hore, I think I left that out. It means in season. So in like manner, the many tribes of swarming flies who fly about the sheep fold in the spring season, for hore, when galagos is another old word for milk. You normally get gala. This is another word for milk. So when the milk due, well, it means drenches the angia. This is the milk pails. In other words, there's so much milk they just pour it in and it goes everywhere. I think that's the sense. As many as, so there were as many long-haired Achaians. So as many long-haired Achaians stood in the plain against the Trojans. Memaotes, this is a participle from mema'a, if you're looking it up. It only occurs in mema'a in that form or in the participial form. It's probably a perfect originally from, there's an old verb ma'o, to desire, and so this is a reduplicated present, I think, but it occurs in this form mema'a when you look it up. So desiring dia reisai, to smash them, to smash them. Very strong verb there. So desiring to smash them. Now before we have tone det, and we had to then we got a long comparison, a long simile, and we're going to get the same here. We get Tuesday, and we have to hold that bit and just look at the simile firstly. For as when the men who are goat herds easily separate the Ipolia platia igone. This is the funny expression. It's the platia is something like wide-ranging goat herds of goats. So herds consisting of goats. It's rather repetitive, and you get lots of these I sounds in here as well. So tuste, hoste, I polla, platia, igone, I polloi undres. So let me just do that bit again. But as when the men who are goat herds, they easily separate the wide-ranging herds of goats, when migiosin, this is a subjunctive with ke, when they might be mingled nomo in the pasture. Now that's a nomos you think of as law, but there's several, if you look up nomos, you'll see there are several different meanings of the same word. They're coming from slightly different roots. I think this means the pasture. So whenever they might get mixed up in the pasture. And thus, the leaders, now here's the picking up that tus again from before. Thus the leaders, diakosmio, were arranging them, entha kai entha, here and there, and I to go and hosmine de, that's that old de, and hosmine, to go into the battle. And Lord Agamemnon, meta understands is adverbial here, was with them. And he was ikelos, he was like, in respect to his eyes and head, to Zeus who delights in the thunder. One of the little epithets of Zeus, one who delights. That's from terpi, you get terpsis, pleasure. And the keranos is the lightning. So he was like to Zeus in respect to his eyes and head. He was like to Ares in respect to his zonae, his waist, and like to Poseidon in respect to his sternon, his breast, or chest, if you like. Atibus amphi. And just as, in the same way as, now abus I think goes with tauros here, so it's an ox who is a bull, sorry, the male ox is a bull. Agile phi, it's that old ending again, it's agile as a herd, so from the herd. Epleto from pelamai, often used just in the sense of the verb to be, so is preeminent greatly of all. In other words, he's preeminent among all of them greatly. For he, metaprepe, this is a verb meaning to be preeminent. So it's almost he stands out from the gathering from this is a participle here agreeing with Boesi. This is the herd, the oxen. So preeminent among the gathering oxen. Toion, so did Zeus on that day, Amatikano, make the son of Atreus, ekprepia, it's a third declension adjective, preeminent among all, and ex okon, well, it's almost superior to, so we've had it up here as well, ex okos, outstanding or superior to, the heroesin, superior to all the heroes. Now that is the end of that section, and in fact the next part of Book 2 is on the, what do you call, the Catalogue of Ships, which I'm not going to read. So I'm going to end this section at this point from book 2.